Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony Holowitz and I want to thank you for listening to this brief tutorial. In this tutorial, I want to talk to you about the web version of Act, the new Act CRM SaaS version. In this version of Act, when it's web-based only, having some skills related to internet browsers is essential for you to have a good experience using this Act software. Having said that, there are three primary browsers that we can use. There's Firefox, there's Chrome, and Microsoft Edge. Right now, I'm using Microsoft Edge, and it is my preference for a browser. Now, I guarantee you, if you ask three people which browser they like, one person will probably say Edge, that's me. One will say Chrome, and one will say Firefox. The good thing is, it doesn't really matter. It's personal preference, whatever you like. There can be subtle differences between those versions. But what I'm about to show you is not specific to a version for the most part. There are some differences, as I mentioned, but what I'm going to show you next is I want to talk to you about the F11 key. So I have a rather big monitor, so I see a lot of green space when I'm looking at this Act lead. But sometimes if you have a laptop computer or a smaller screen, you want as much real estate available to you as possible in that browser window. So we have a lot of stuff up here that's just taking up space all up top. So what I'm going to do is on my keyboard there's an F11 key, Frank 11, and I'm going to press that. And when I do that, all that information up top went away. If I take the cursor and move it up to the top of the page, you'll see this stuff comes back. If I move it away, it goes away. So I can make this stuff go away or come back just by moving my mouse, or the pointer I should say, up off the top of the screen. All that did was give me a little more real estate. Not a ton, but a little bit. Might be just enough. The next thing that I want you to be aware of is that when you're working in a browser, you can resize the window or what our view is. So on your keyboard, you have a control key, Ctrl. On a laptop or a desktop computer, I should say, it's on the bottom left-hand side of your keyboard. So I'm going to hold the control key down. Now, also on your keyboard, you should have a plus and minus sign or key. I'm going to press the minus, I hit something by mistake. I'm going to press the minus key while I'm holding the control key down. And when I do that, you're going to see everything gets really, really, really tiny. You can't even read it, but now I have tons of green space. If I want to get back to square one, the keyboard shortcut is Ctrl 0. So again, Ctrl minus makes everything smaller. You can keep hitting it. Ctrl 0 takes you right back to where you were. Now I'm going to go the other direction. I'm going to hold the Control key down and press the plus sign. And what you'll notice is everything got really, really big. Too big. So the trick here is this. You can reset this window to be what's comfortable for your vision and the way you work. If you don't have a lot of information, now that's overlapping a little bit, but I can come to this middle bar right here, put my pointer on it. I get a two-headed arrow. It's sort of a tough one to catch. Just drag it down a little bit, and now you've freed up some space. So what I've done here is I've resized the window to make it easier on the eyes. Traditional Act doesn't allow you to do that. The desktop version of Act does not allow you to do that. So this is one of the things I really like about the browser version. Make it comfortable for the way you work. A couple other things. I'm going to show you what happens when you right click. Now if you're a longtime Act user that you're used to the desktop version, when you right click in an area, it does certain things. But when I right click, this comes up. So because we're in a browser, different things show up than if you're on the desktop version. One of the things that's sort of interesting about right clicking is there's an area down here in Edge, Microsoft Edge, called Web Capture. And if I click on this, I can basically draw on the screen and I can capture or copy this window, this area. And now I can take what I just copied and paste it. So that's a couple of the subtle differences between the browser and using Act on a desktop. And I know a lot of the people that are experimenting with this version or using this version, that's what they're trying to figure out. How do you make this work for you? So ladies and gentlemen, those are just a few tips about working with it. Again, it's the F11 key, Frank 11, and then the Ctrl plus or minus to make it bigger or smaller. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. You have a great day. Bye now.